Hello, everybody. I'm Matt Anderson. Welcome to Volcano's Open Gym. And today's topic is asking better questions. And what I use the term the morning rituals as some great questions to start the day out with. And personally, I ask myself these questions when I'm driving to work in the morning, or if I end up taking the train, same thing there. And there may well be a different time and place for you to do that. But I just find it's a great way to center my thinking and to help with focus. And I think even more importantly, to be clear that you're being consistent with what's most important to you, and that's how you're starting out your day. So it's a lot more powerful than I suspect most people would think of or give credit for. And what I'd like to do in this presentation is run through some useful questions that you might want to consider using. Now, most of these questions I have paraphrased or adapted from an excellent book that came out last year by Mark Divine called The Way of the Seal. A very good book. But the truth is that, I mean, the idea of a morning ritual is ancient, and I have a client at the moment that does other things as a part of that. Meditation is something that tends to come to mind immediately as a great idea, but there are other centering things that include reading inspiring literature, exercise, even certain things that you might choose to eat, can all be very helpful. Now, to be candid, that isn't going to happen in my life, I don't think, because I have two toddlers that get up very, very early, and I just need the sleep that I can get. So that doesn't work for me at the moment. Excuse me. But clearly that will change as they get older. So really, there's nothing more for me to say other than to get the most out of Volcano, come once a week, come to a live session, and preferably have some kind of commitment that you want to be held accountable for. So these are the questions for the morning ritual that I use. And this first question is an adaptation of something that Einstein once said, which I don't know if I have in front of me. I suspect I don't. But basically, I don't have it in front of me. I could probably pull it up quite quickly, but it's not crucial. The question is, do I believe I live in a friendly or a hostile universe? And I think it's just an interesting way of thinking that some people who are a bit more on the pessimistic, negative side that expect things to go wrong, I think their worldview has, potentially could have more of a negative impact on their outcomes than they realize, because of a lack of trustworthiness in others. And I think, especially when you're self-employed or in sales, that it's really important to have an optimistic mindset. Question 2 is, what am I looking forward to today? And this too, again, focuses on the positive. So even on a day when there may well be something that you're not too excited about, I think it's really important also, though, to get your head in the right place and to start thinking in those terms. And that in a worst case scenario, you're thinking also about, okay, maybe there's not an awful lot today that I'm excited about, but luckily tomorrow I'm seeing this person, or I'm going to this event, or I'm doing this type of presentation, or whatever it might be. I just think, again, it gets the brain focused in the right direction. Question 3, what is my purpose? And do my plans for today connect me to it? Now, I know I took this one from the Mark Divine book, and I think this is a wonderful question to get us thinking more deeply about why we're on this planet, or what contribution we want to make, or again, how we want to make a difference, and whether what we're doing today is aligned with that. I think it helps, again, from a focusing standpoint. Now, making a difference can get a bit broad, because there are lots of ways we can do that, or we can fool ourselves into thinking we're doing that. Maybe not fool ourselves, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's directing us to be most effective. But nonetheless, I think it's again, only you can. I guess your honesty with yourself will determine how useful that is as a question. Question 4: how can I progress towards my goals today? So that's a great one, because firstly it gets you focused on, well, what are my top goals, and then to start getting into the nitty gritty of what am I doing today that's actually going to move me forward to that. And I don't know if it requires more. I think Divine words it differently. He says something like, how can I move the dial towards reaching my goals today? But I think it's the same thing. How can I progress towards my goals today? Question 5 is an interesting one. Who can I help or thank today? And I like it because it gets us to remember almost who has helped us get to where we are to a specific point. So, from a business standpoint, perhaps it's a referral that you received and you're finally meeting with that person as a prospect, or maybe they're just starting to do business with you and it occurs to you that you actually haven't communicated that to the person who sent you the opportunity in the first place. And that's the example that I guess pops to mind for me the most, but it could be anything. I mean, it could also be in your personal life as well. And everybody loves to be appreciated and thanked. And then question 6, what and who am I grateful for today? Again, along not necessarily similar lines, but also, again, puts us in a positive frame to help us recognize what we are lucky for. And then the last question, are my goals still aligned with my purpose? And I like that a lot too, because it reconnects our biggest picture, our purpose, our mission, with what we are targeting for our goals. And the only danger I see sometimes in these questions, or in not thinking them through honestly, or really doing a gut check, is I suppose sometimes you can get into a rote, almost like being on a stationary bicycle, where you think you're on track and you keep answering yes without honestly stopping and saying, well, is this really the right goal at the moment or not? So sometimes perhaps you need to put yourself in a different place or frame of mind to make sure you're really being honest with yourself. But otherwise, I think these are tremendous questions. And certainly if this were a group participation call, then I would encourage you to start thinking about some of these things, or at least broadening them and saying, what am I looking forward to this week? But the other questions are all really very much related to just taking the time to think these through. And my next suggestions would be, frankly, to use these questions within the next, I would say, month. I expect to have a Golcano journal, which will include these questions. And that's something that you can buy, or if you're a Golcano member, you get as a member, which is a fantastic tool to really stay on track with how you're progressing and what you're learning, and most importantly, what new habits you are implementing and new beliefs you are ingraining. And then beyond that, again, what would be a good stretch goal for you over the next 7 days, and finding someone to hold yourself accountable to do that. Otherwise, lots of sessions coming up. There are 5 a week in the Open Gym at the moment through Golcano.com, and also quite a few events on a somewhat global scale that I will be running through Golcano as well in the upcoming months. Again, Golcano.com. Matt Anderson, it's been my pleasure. Good luck, and I hope you use some of these ideas.